万门大学的小伙伴们，大家好，我是兰菲利博士，是莱特研究大学的应用神经科学教授。今天我很荣幸给你们介绍巴博士和指导师的书，关于吵架，如何正确吵架。我在北京大学读博士的时候，有一个师兄叫于洪波博士，他是跟周小林教授在北京大学做了关于内疚的研究。他们发现内疚影响了不仅仅是我们的行为，也影响到我们的大脑。内疚是一个很重要的社会因素，而且我们不能轻轻的让别人感觉内疚。现在接下来巴博士会讲关于内疚，而且关于责任感，而且如何正确吵架。我们去上课吧。
Hello, I'm Dr. Bob Wright, and we're talking about the rules of engagement. And rule number 3 is no one gets more than 50% of the blame. I first started working with couples back in the 1970s. And one thing was pretty common. One member of the couple wanted me to fix the other one. That one member figured that all the problems were because of the other member of the couple. And that's never the case. Never the case. It takes two to tango is an expression in English that we use. What was going on was one person came in and they thought they were a victim. You can see in the drama triangle here that every victim has a persecutor. Well, this spouse thought their spouse was a persecutor, and that one wanted me to be the rescuer. Well, this drama triangle has one major problem. No one is taking responsibility for their own fulfillment and satisfaction. So, I developed in the early 1980s this rule that nobody gets more than 50% of the blame. If you want to talk to me about your couple, then you need to let go of blaming your partner for everything. And the key element that showed up as we dug into these things was that everyone always has a choice. And if I blame you for doing something, I had a choice in how I responded. I had a choice in what I did before that. I had a choice in what I did after that. But I don't want to take responsibility for my choice. I just want to say that you are persecuting me. You're the problem. Now, the other side of that is that the other partner feels like they are being a victim, being blamed. So oftentimes they both came in wanting me to rescue them. That would have been irresponsible on my part. Irresponsible. It wouldn't have been true. It wouldn't have acknowledged that each of them was creating his or her own reality. So my first rule of engagement was no one gets more than 50% of the blame. I had a woman come in to see me in the late 1980s. She had 2 children that she had born, but she said that her life was like having 3 children, that her husband was like another child, and there was some truth to that. I said, well, tell me about it. And she talked about the chaos in her family every morning. She said her husband did nothing but block her from having life be how she wanted it in the morning. And it was always his fault. And quite frankly, she didn't really hold the kids responsible for very much. One of them was a newborn, but the other one was old enough that he was able to follow orders and do what he was supposed to do, but he wasn't doing it. I said, well, tell me about it. It's your husband's fault that you don't have mornings how you want them. She said, absolutely. I said, I'll tell you what, I don't believe you. And she didn't like the fact that I didn't believe her. She said, well, what should I do? I said, well, right now, you have been trained in drama and victimhood since you were a little girl. Turned out that her mother was very abusive. And her mother would hit her with a hairbrush and punish her. And she was the third of 4 children. And her older sister played the role of being the rescuer. And this woman had learned how to be a victim from very early on in life, because the older sister would step in and intervene with the mother and end up getting hit with the hairbrush herself. So this woman had come by this drama triangle that we're talking about very, very honestly. So it was very deep work for her to change her internal programming, which we call rematrixing. And you'll get to that in a later chapter of the book. But it started out being very difficult for her. For starters, she was always afraid, but never told the truth about it. The only emotion that she had available was really anger. And as we worked with her and put her into our training programs, she started recognizing, wow, I'm afraid, and I'm living a thing called a self-fulfilling prophecy. The way the self-fulfilling prophecy works is that she believed she was going to be a victim. So she acted in a way that caused her husband to do what he did, to believe what he believed, to act in a way that confirmed her belief that she was a victim. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy cycle. She had to change her belief or her action. We worked on both levels. We worked on the belief that she could actually be the creator of her own life, which was a very big challenge for her. So we have a saying that you have to fake it till you make it. So we had her start acting like she was creator of her own life. She started acting as if she expected her husband to do what she wanted. She didn't believe it yet, but she started acting like it. And darned if that didn't change how he thought about her, and if he didn't start changing how he acted. And it challenged her limiting beliefs, that she really was powerful, that she really could have life how she wanted it. Same thing goes on in companies. Many employees come into the companies feeling like victims and see their bosses as the persecutors. When we're working with people on career, we don't let them blame their boss. No matter how bad the boss is, no matter how big a jerk the boss is, we give them no excuse. For starters, many employees use the fact that their boss is truly not a very nice person as an excuse to not do their jobs fully and to not satisfy the boss and make that boss look good. They don't like it when we say, well, you haven't earned the right to expect your boss to be any different because you haven't changed how you are operating. Because employees too live this self-fulfilling prophecy. They believe that they are going to be victims, so they act in a way that stops short, that causes the boss to believe that the person should be victimized, that causes the boss to act in a way that is confirming their belief that they're not okay. So this self-fulfilling prophecy cycle is a really critical part of how we create our own unhappiness in life. And that nobody gets more than 50% of the blame is a key solution. Because if I can't blame you 100% for what's going on, then I have to start thinking about those choices that I'm making. And if I start understanding those choices that I'm making, I'll realize that I have a limiting belief, that I can never be happy. So I act in a way that makes me unhappy, and that causes other people to believe that they can do what they want. They act in a way, and my belief is there. Now, one of the other ways that we have found to help people challenge this is to have this woman went into a group of ours, and when she would think she was a victim and act like a victim, the group did not believe she was a victim, so they did not act as if she were a victim, and that began challenging her limiting belief, and she began to believe that she was really the victor and the creator of her own life. That belief started changing her actions, and she began to have her husband doing what she wanted, and it was 2 years, but 2 years later, she had a morning that was exactly how she wanted it.